know what to farm? Well, you are not alone. I've been getting this question so many times over on my stream, twitch.tv/5polarbear. It's just people wondering what to farm, right? They know Expedition, they know Logbooks, but you know, what else can they do? It's new players, old players. People just want something new to farm. So I cooked up 40 different things you can farm and grind. I will have you know that 35 to 40, it's, you know, we're really starting to, it's getting thin. I'm stretching it, okay, but there are technically some things you can farm past that. But, you know, the first 30, very solid. Anyways, this list also in my Discord channel, pinned in the general of my Discord. So without further ado, let's get going. Expedition, growing hordes, grand design. You know, you use the Oppenheimer keystone, just blow it all up, right? Everybody knows this. Just do Expedition in your maps. There's a ton of different flavors for doing it. You could do it even Wandering Path with Harvest, but you're gonna miss out on some of the notables, which kind of stinks. But yeah, I mean, hey, growing hordes, get a lot of pack size. Grand design, get a lot of pack size as well. And now you can also use Gilded Expedition or Winged Expedition Scarabs. Logbook farming, you know, Expedition logbook farming, this is just what I do every league start. It's so free. Black Scythe books, you buy stuff from Tujin with his artifacts, or Danning, the Sun logbooks, you buy Tujin stuff from Danning, and then you buy all that stuff from Tujin. It really just farming Sun logbooks is an extended Tujin farm. Harvest in your maps, Wandering Path, plus, you know, there's some other juice you can do. I would look up Harvest Juice Farm. I think I saw one from, I forget who it is exactly, but someone in the MF Academy. You know, keep an eye out, keep your eyes peeled. There are some pretty juicy harvest farms. And the later in the league it gets, the more yellow life force goes up in price. And now we can block a lot of the other life forces, and you could just really juice out that yellow life force and help those degen gamblers out. Hell yes. Memories, Essence, Harvest, maybe Harbinger. Harby seemed a little cringe, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it was anything too crazy, but you know, I've never done like 50 of them. I just didn't seem, you know, too impressive. But essences, you get tons of essences. You know, it's just a great farm to just generate lots and lots of essences. And it's kind of just, you know, these are just fun things you can do, right? They're not all going to be insane farms, but, you know, hey, man, these essence and harvest memories, they're pretty fun. There's a bestiary one too, but the bestiary one, it seems like it's priced to be profitable for people who are grouping up to share the beast. So yeah, as far as solo is concerned, that's kind of this list right here is just solo. I didn't include bestiary or anything like that. So just essence, harvest, and maybe harbinger memories. Sextant rolling in your hideout. I'll have a video out on this, but yes, sextant rolling, you know, awakened sextants. If you grab the notable on the passive tree and you just sit there and you click, click, click in your hideout, every time you click right now, you're making about 1 chaos profit, even though they're 3C. And you can sell them in bulk on TFT using POE stack. It's super, super easy. It'll take all of them from your tab. It reads them. It knows what compass they are. And you can set your own prices and it'll save those prices so that you don't need to constantly have them adjusted or whatever if you've got a specific thing. It literally always makes currency. Don't ever listen to anybody who says sextant rolling doesn't make currency. They have no idea what they're talking about. We have all the prices. We have all the weighting. It's public. It's just a math calculation and it's done in a Google sheet thanks to JMS. All right, homie. He coded a whole Google sheet to auto update based off the prices of the sextant, the weighting, and the yeah, it's just, it works out. All right, it's literally just math and it makes money every single league. El could go red altars. There's nothing else to say here, man. Just do T16 maps. El could go with whatever else you've got and add red altars and choose the chaos, awakened sextants, unmaking orbs, you know, any of the good currencies and stuff like that. And you make a lot more currency, okay? Red altars are sick. Combine it with expedition, harvest, you know, whatever else you're doing in maps, just do red altars. 60-80 deli farming, skittering, diviner, catalyst. I can't really say catalyst because if like 5 people do this, it's not profitable anymore. So skittering and skittering and diviner, if you're paying attention. 60-80 deli is great. It is always profitable because skittering is how we generate most of the scarabs in the economy. And everybody uses scarabs, so everybody will need them. So it's always going to be profitable, right? You are always going to have a job if you are a skittering delirium orb farmer. They will always be priced for you to make a profit. Now, you might have to change some scarabs around, maybe a couple compasses if some other farms are popping up or something like that. But rest assured, it's always profitable. Diviner, is always pretty good as well. I did this last league. It's just a nice alternative. If you don't know, Diviner, it makes a little bit less currency, but it's a lot easier on your hand, and it's pretty fun because you'll get random div cards, but you always make a profit. It's not a gamble. It's not a gamble at all. You get a bunch of stack decks, and then you get a couple, divine cards, and you make your profit off of pretty much just the stack decks and, the typical cards that you would get, the divine beauties, like a 1 out of 12 or whatever divines, right? You are going to get those cards that are good if you're doing the farm. So, stack decks plus that, I mean, you're in the green by far. Enraged boxes. So you can choose 2 prisons if you're going to do the enraged box farm. If you don't know what this is, you just grab the compass. Well, it's not just grabbing the compass, but the whole gist of it is to juice the quant and, just your strongbox juice in maps, so much so that you are much more likely to get div cards. And there is a compass that gives 500 quantity to your strongboxes, and then you just add a bunch of strongboxes in your map and go wandering path for a lot of extra quant and whatnot. So you get to choose 2 prisons. You have Cemetery or you have Crimson Temple. Cemetery, it's just a good farm. You will get 5 div cards. You will make your money back as long as you have like a big enough size. There might be like one dude who doesn't get any brother stash and brother gifts. You might get like unlucky and get like 6 of one, none of the other. But generally, Cemetery is a pretty safe bet. Crimson Temple is where it gets a little iffy though. In Crimson Temple, you might go 100 maps and not get any apothecaries. You might go so many maps in a row and not get any apothecaries. That one's a little bit of a gamble, but you could also get an apothecary. You get 1, 5 more maps later, you get another. It's pretty good. And as Mage Bloods go up, as that keeps rising, as Divines keep rising, joining the prison in Crimson Temple is looking juicier and juicier as the league goes on. Legion blasting, number 9. Grim just put out a video about this. It's absolutely fantastic. I love doing Legion. You can do Legion in white maps and make currency, yellow maps, or red maps plus altars and really get that juice, right? You really want to do it in a red map with an altar, but let's say you're super broke and you're playing like CF or Lightning Arrow and you just cannot handle red maps plus altars. Well, if you have Legion on your Alice tree, just buy the Rusted Scarab or get all the Legion chants on the tree and just elk and go blast some random good layout white maps. Legion blasting is really fun and it's super profitable. And it doesn't matter if emblems aren't that expensive because your money doesn't really come from the emblems. It comes from all the sergeants' rewards and the war hordes. It's got currency, essence, fossils, div cards, stack decks. You name it, Legion drops it. It's amazing. All right, number 10, Metamorph. Juicing plus catalysts. Metamorph, it's really good early on. I don't know if it's still super, super insane, but its catalysts are always going to be pretty expensive, right? There's a few that are exclusive to Metamorph. And so if nobody's farming them, this is a really easy and juicy way to make some currency. And some people like Metamorph. Personally, I'm not a fan. I think it's kind of boring and, I just don't like it. Okay. I don't like doing Metamorph's farm. I don't like it. Okay. But you could go into a map like City Square, get a bunch of bosses. Maybe I don't know if the Keystone actually does anything too for organs, but I think you would just do red altars anyway. But yeah, you get a bunch of catalysts because you're going to do juicing on your Metamorphs with compasses, which makes them drop double catalyst and have double life and blah, blah, blah. You get a bunch of stuff and, it's a pretty good one. And it's something different that you could try out and maybe you'll have fun. Delve is number 11. Delve, it's not an insane farm, but some people like it. It's kind of just chill. You just keep going down. If you've never done it before, if you're a new player, it's pretty cool, man. You just go down, you've got this little cart, you're kind of following it. There's darkness, maybe it's a little spooky. You've got to follow it. It's like its own little game, right? Following the cart, especially if you have a high move speed build. It's kind of fun, dude. And you get to reach bosses. There's some new bosses, right? That you probably will never see outside of Delve. You have Ool and all that. That's cool stuff, man. Go down there, kill Ool, and sell the amulets unidentified. Okay, do not gamble. Do not gamble. Just sell them unID'd, I promise. Otherwise, you're going to hit Purity of Elements and you are going to cry. Heist. We have a, Lang in the Discord. We got a guy. He's been selling Heist so hard. This guy is juicing Heist. He's blasting. He's making so much. Heist is always good, especially if you're a new player and you don't get triggered when you hear the word heist, heist is great. You do unusual gem BPs and you farm our alt quality gems. And I salute you for that. Thank you, all of the heist gem BP farmers, because I don't want to do that. I'm glad that I can pay somebody to work in the heist mines. Simulacrum farming. Yeah, honestly, you don't even have to hit wave 30 on Sims to make currency. When Sims are super cheap, it's super easy to make a bunch off of them. All right, Simulacrum farming, there's not really much to say. You go in there, you kill the monsters, and you've got to have a tough build if you want to make it from like wave 20, like waves 25 to 30, it's going to get very hairy if you don't have a pretty solid build. But sim farming, it's nice. Some builds can AFK it. Some people like it. You can watch Netflix on the second monitor. It's not the most engaging, but it does print, and it's super, super easy if you've got the build to just sit there, kill all the monsters, pick up all the loot, rinse and repeat for hours on end. 14, Sanctum. It's actually something I'm doing right now. Sanctum, it's new, unless, you did a bunch of it in Sanctum League, but it's kind of new. There's some new layouts and all of that, right? And you're forced to do the boss. It's pretty fun. It's a little fresh. It's fresh enough for me, and I just enjoy it, dude. 5 hours flew by yesterday on stream, and I was just blasting Sanctum. The TLDR for this is you get a lot of chaos, a lot of awakened sextants, and a lot of divines. You can do some challenge runs and drop the balance of terrors. You could do challenge or no-hit runs and get an original sin. There are very high difficulty versions of Sanctum you could do too, so that's pretty cool. There's some opt-in difficulty for some opt-in rewards. That's really fun. A trial of the ancestors, ToTa. There's been a few YouTube videos about this, and it pumps. Apparently you make pretty good currency. You just farm a lot of tattoos. You got to get a high rank. It seems like you need a specialized build once you hit a point. Personally, not for me, but I'm glad it's in the game because it seems like there are subsects of players that really enjoy Trial of the Ancestors, and I'm glad somebody's there farming it so that I could buy my tattoos for my builds. So yeah, that's a great, just the league mechanic, duh. But, I get to include it on the list, okay? That's +1. That's my free bingo space. Do the league mechanic. Blight map farming. This is the Blighted or Ravaged maps. Ravaged maps, super, super profitable, especially when you can do them with the super juicy oils and make them very fast. Now, I don't know exactly what build that would require, but I've seen some pretty wild stuff when you have an insane build and you can just absolutely destroy the Ravaged maps. I'm talking like you make all the monsters spawn like 2 or 3 times as fast, and it goes by lightning quick, and all the monsters, right? It's going to be extremely difficult content, but with that comes a lot of rewards, so it's pretty good. Otherwise, you could just chill and do normal Blight maps, and that still pumps. 17, farming Blighted maps. So this is you're farming the Blight maps to sell to the Blight map farmer, right? You're farming pumps in a normal map. You would do this in Carcass, and I'm not sure if there's another like top layout. You really just choose whatever the best one is. Lastly, it's Toxic Sewers, but that's not in rotation anymore. So from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong in comments, Carcass is the next best map to farm Blight maps in. The TLDR is you want it to be nice, tight, and narrow so that there is only one lane. And since there's one lane, but a guaranteed amount of rewards, no matter if there's only one lane, there's a guaranteed number of rewards. But when you only have one lane, the first reward you get is Blight rewards. So it forces like 9 or something Blight reward chests all in one clump. And so it's super easy to click that and have map dupe chance on your tree to get a lot of Blighted maps. It's pretty good early on in the league. And later on in the league, it starts to fall off a little bit. But, it's another pretty good one. It's kind of fun. You can just dig around with it for a little bit. It's not bad. It seems like they're still selling for like 15, 10 chaos. So, it's a pretty good farm still. All right, boss rushing is number 18. Eater, Exarch, whichever costs more, plus map dupe chance, wandering path. You just sit here and you absolutely blast. I don't know if you actually go wandering path, map dupe chance, or if you do the notables where you get the chance for Shaper Guardian maps to drop and all of that. I think the map dupe wandering path would only be super good if you're using the compass. If you're doing the compass where they drop guaranteed maps, but those are a little expensive, right? But just boss rushing just to get started. You just do Mesa, you do City Square. You can know where the boss is really easy. In Mesa, you just go up every time. In City Square, you just figure out which corner you spawn in and head to the middle. They're pretty simple. And the gist of this is you just farm the invitation progress and the Shaper Guardian, Elder Guardian, or, you know, Elder Slayer and whatever maps that'll drop from map bosses. I have heard that using the Keystone for a map boss rush, you know, it's just not worth it. I think it's destructive play with Maven influence or whatever. You know, you're just not getting enough maps to justify not farming the Eater or Exarch invitation. Since you have to use the Maven influence to use destructive play and get the 1 to 3 bosses to spawn, and you're not just dropping enough Shaper whatever Guardian maps. So you know, it just kind of sucks. So that's why you just do the invitations. All right, 19, Syndicate Farming. This is a pretty good one to include in a lot of different things, especially if you have a lot of Syndicate missions saved up. Ashling T4 Research, Varici Research, Hillock Quality. If you know how to do Syndicate, then you blast it. There's not really much more to say. I can't really explain Syndicate Farming all in one video. All right, 8 mod map farming plus magic finding. Wandering Path, map dupes chance, farming 8 mod maps to sell. I did this on a non-MF character, and I didn't make too much currency at the time. But on a magic finding character, you are probably going to get way more maps than I did. So you're farming. The gist of this is Enraged box farmers are wanting 8 mod maps so that they don't have to farm them on their own, have their own specific atlas tree specific to farming these 8 mod maps, and they get an extra compass and a scarab. So it's pretty valuable. And somebody needs to farm these 8 mod maps, right? There's a compass that makes every map drop with corrupted and 8 mods. You get a lot of quant from those. It's really good. So you get to be the guy that farms those for Enraged box farmers. That's the TLDR for that. 21, Deli Mirror farming for orbs. This is just a random thing you can add to a strat, right? If you're doing Legion, I like to add the Delirium Mirror chance and the Delirium Orb chance on the tree. You just add it to another strat and you get some random orbs to drop. And, you know, Deli's kind of fun, dude. You get random rewards and whatever. But right now, the orbs are like 8 to 10 chaos each when you sell them in bulk. So, man, every time you get an orb, you know, when you're doing this, you're getting like 1 or 2 orbs from your Deli Mirrors. Hey, man, that's pretty good, dude. That's an extra 10, 20 chaos every map. White map farming, number 22. With essences and beasts, this is a classic. There's not much more to say. You just farm a white map with the essence nodes and the beast nodes, and you blast. That's about it. It makes good currency because essences don't care what map tier it is, and it's best to farm beasts and white maps because it locks out some of the sneaky ones. 23, Vaal Temple farming. It's a meme farm. Vaal Temple, it just has a bunch of what are effectively strong boxes that will drop double corrupted items. So all you've got to do is click all that good stuff and you can get some cool double corrupts. It's a meme farm, but it's kind of fun, especially later into the league. You'll get a lot of random cool double corrupts and maybe you'll get something super spicy. Number 24, invitations. This is just the like Shaper Guardian shuffle is what some people call it, but you just do every Shaper Guardian witnessed by Maven and then you do their invitation with like 60 or 70 quantity, you know, rolling it so your build can handle it. You get the fragments and you get Maven splinters from this, and the Maven splinters and the fragments are kind of covering the costs for this and making your profit, right? Because Maven is, you know, a pretty expensive boss. She's got some good drops. So this is how a lot of the Maven splinters are farmed. Number 26, lab running. If you can lab run, okay, this might be an extremely specialized skill, but it's also extremely profitable once you obtain this skill, especially so if you can get a trusted TFT roll for lab running. It's wild currency. Otherwise, you just get a bunch of helmet bases and you just absolutely blast lab. But as soon as you can start doing enchants for people and selling boots or belts, it's wild. It's an insane farm, but not for everyone. Number 27, Rog. There's a lot of vibing to figure it out. We've got a Maxwell article here, but rogging for gear is the best way to obtain. It's like triple attribute rings without having them fractured, or just like in general suppression gear and just insane pieces. Rog will just randomly spoon feed you the most insane gear. He's just wild, but it's a lot of kind of vibing and figuring it out. So it's an attained skill. 28, profit crafting for lazy people. Any popular build, stuff like Righteous Fire or bow builds, you know, bow builds, that's where the real currency is at, okay? Just profit craft for them. Find their, you know, budget bows, craft them. But RF stuff, craft budget versions of that. And you just get to sell it for a profit because they, you know, are too ignorant to know how to craft, or they just can't be bothered to craft and they don't mind paying a little bit extra. And, you know, hey, man, take advantage of that. Make some extra currency. Heck yeah. Bulk buying and selling scarabs, essences, or commodities. This is a nice way to make currency once you have currency. You see, we're getting a little iffy now. Bulk buying. Yeah, you just buy a full tab from someone on TFT who's selling their, you know, full fossil tab for 70, 80%. And you just go and you sell each fossil individually for a big markup. This is a really easy way to make a bunch of currency once you already have currency. You're kind of just like snowballing at this point, but it's a lot of trading. So, you know, you got to be okay with that, or just watch a TV show on the second monitor. A 5-way carry, aura bot, gem leveler, you know, 5-way stuff. You make currency, right? If you're an aura bot for someone, you can make some currency. If you're the carry, you get to start raking it in. And this is another like really easy one. I think Empyrean has a video about what the 5-way meta build is from last league, I believe. So you could check that out. But yeah, there's not much more to say. It's just good profit if you're the carry. Harvest rolling deli orbs. This is a one that, you know, everybody could do, especially if you're farming the delirium orbs. So what you do is you bulk buy the orbs, or maybe you've got them already, and you just flip them into diviners, cartographers, or skittering. Cartographers is another great 60-80 deli orb. The farm, by the way, it drops Awakened Sextants. So later in the league, it's really, really good. But, you know, right now, nobody's really saving on those, so it's hard to buy them. But yeah, you just harvest roll the bad orbs into the good ones. 32, niche crafting. Cluster jewels, fracture jewels, flasks. Just alt spamming flasks alone can generate you so much currency if you buy high item level flasks. It's crazy. You know, it's a little niche, some of these things, but I mean, hey, you can find yourself just sitting there alt spamming flasks if you gotta, and you can make a lot of currency doing that. It's a little menial, but whatever, dude. You're raking it in. Opening stacked decks. This is a bit of a meme farm, okay? But you open the stacked decks, sell whatever you get, buy more, sell them again, buy more, repeat until you are filthy rich. Good luck. Okay, number 34, just gamble, bro. If you got an apothecary from a stacked deck, put it in your harvest bench and make it 2 or 4 apothecaries, okay? Just gamble. So many people in my Discord do this every single league. So many of them fail, but there's a few that succeed, and I'm sure they have a hell of a time in the rest of the league. Alva temple farming. This is a real one that you could just do. It's not even a meme farm. You just do this alongside another farm. Locus of Corruption, Apex of Ascension, Doriani Institute. You're just farming the good temple rooms. That's pretty much it. There's not much more to say. Alva temple farming. Challenge carries. There's a guy who posts the challenge guide for every Path of Exile league on the Reddit. It's like a big write-up. You just find that and find out what you can do for other people. This can be difficult stuff, like doing a hard map, or it can be easy things like vendor recipes, and you could sell these services on the TFT. You just have a big write-up, what challenges you're doing, how much it costs, and you just get to sell them. This is really easy currency because at the point where somebody is buying challenge carries, they don't care what the price is anymore. They just want it done. So you get to charge exorbitant prices for the most menial of tasks, like vendor recipes. Voidstone carries. This is like just boss carries, right? This should have been earlier because it's just a real farm. It falls off really quick as the league goes on. But, you know, you get to do it alongside bossing. You might as well just post and say, hey, 30C for the Voidstone, and you'll get a couple PMs every once in a while, make it a, you know, a couple extra 30C or whatever it is. Farming TFT rank. Yeah, this is probably the weirdest or weakest one. But, you know, if you're a white name on TFT, I won't trust you with anything. I will never have an ashling done on my items from someone with a white name. Okay, so just farm a TFT rank by doing crafting bench services, or, you know, literally anything else. Just try to get a TFT rank that isn't you having a white name, so people can actually trust you with something. Because, dude, I just straight up don't trust the white names. Okay, leveling carry services. Yeah, you see at the end we get a little bit freaky. There are people that will carry you through the axe. This can be done in a few hours, and if they can get a group of people, they will get 10 divines per person. This means that if you can carry a group of 5 people in 2 hours, you can make 50 divines. Now, you're probably only going to be doing 1 or 2 people at a time, but that's still going to be 5 to 10 div an hour. And that's just like carrying through the axe. There's no trading. There's no selling. It's literally just they trade you the divines and you just do the campaign with them. And then you can also charge them to level them. Right? It's a little bit of a scam, but you could just boost them through the whole campaign without actually killing any monsters with them. And then you can charge them at the end to level them instead of like leveling them through the campaign. Ah, yes, just milk them. Number 40, trial farming for gifts. This is a really good one. You stay to the end. You get to add this to your maps for not really much at all. But you farm for gift of the goddesses. Look for the improved offerings on trials, and to the left of your, or to the right of your monitor, there'll be a little quest that says, you know, blah, 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 do the trial or do the whatever. So you'll know you'll have a trial in your map. So you could do this alongside, like boss rushing would be a pretty good one. Let's say you're boss rushing Mesa. You take the trial nodes that have a 20% chance to give you an improved offering to the goddess. And that 20% chance will be a 20% chance to be a really good one, right? Gift of the goddess, super expensive right now. The other ones are like 10 and whatever chaos, but still a 1 in 3 for, I think it's like 2 divines for just doing a random trial is really, really good. And the best thing is when you see the quest, you can find the trial, and on the trial, it will say whether it's an improved offering on the trial or not. And so you can really easily just skip all the normal offering ones and see when you just have the improved one. And it's a 1 out of 3. They have equal weighting for a gift of the goddess. It's a 1 out of 3 for you to get a gift of the goddess. And that's a pretty big payday for not much effort and not many points on the tree at all. Anyways, if you have any farms you think I missed, let me know and I'll add them to the list, because I do want a really big list of farms that I can just feed people and I myself can look to when I'm wondering what I should or can farm next as the league goes on. I know some of these you've probably heard before. Hopefully there was a few you didn't consider or didn't know about. Anyways, this was pretty much every farm me and my chat could come up with. Like, sub, I'll see you guys on the live stream. Hope you enjoyed. All right, peace, homies. Bye.